Hey guys, welcome to the RAMZPAUL show. And let me make sure I'm live on all the platforms. Uh, hey, Magnum Opus and James, it's great to see you. Let me make sure it's running on YouTube okay. Because they changed the stream. Yeah, I'm live. All right. It looks like everything is good to go. Hey, it's weird because I don't stream so much anymore. I do my daily shows, and so I'm trying to figure out how to stream again. So I'll get at it. But if you like this type of show, please help contribute. I don't have a sugar daddy. I don't have APAC. I don't have them giving me money. It's just you guys. So I do appreciate it. And there's three ways basically. YouTube has super chats. I appreciate it. Rumble has rants, and not Stream Elements. Stream Elements, I've been banned. I don't know why. I suppose for hate. He did a hate. So they want to shut down voices and everything. Fuck you, Stream Elements. So that's what it is. We live in this society where right wingers get shut down all the time. But left wingers like Jimmy Kimmel, he gets shut down for like 3 days. It's like, oh, why must I suffer so? It's just crazy. But we'll see the good news is Trump got after YouTube for his ban. So that's the good news. So no, not Stream Elements. I got banned. I'm not sure why I got banned on Stream Elements. They never tell you. It's like the Soviet system. You're charged and found guilty, and there's no way to appeal. You don't know what you did bad, but you're just gone. So I don't have Stream Elements, but I have YouTube, Super Chats, Rumble, Rants, and then Powerchats. I really do appreciate it. So I'll take a look at it throughout the show. All right, let's have some fun. I do the show every Monday night. I've been kind of playing with this schedule, but I decided Monday nights it seems to work pretty well. And then Tuesday through Friday, I do my daily show and just go over stuff. And I think my last one was about how Nick Fuentes had this theory that Erica Kirk, that was a strange marriage. It was probably arranged by them. And I'm like, wow, that's a new one. Long-term planning. We're going to have this older lady seduce poor Charlie Kirk because we know he's going to turn on us. And that way we'll put it back over to Israel. I guess that was the idea. A little far-fetched for me, but who knows? Who knows? There's a lot of stuff that's going on, though, that's kind of crazy. And we're going to have fun, go through it. So if you have any questions or comments, yeah, send in your super chat. I really do. I appreciate it. And yeah, good. I'm live on X too. So, all right. Here's the first one. This is pretty good news. Let's take a look at this. See what happens when you're a billionaire, you can make these bitches pay. And Trump, he's a billionaire, so he's got plenty of lawyers. And I guess YouTube, they suspended Donald Trump or banned him in 2021 after the January 6 riots, which was all bullshit. We're going to look into that. That was all bullshit, right? You remember the whole lies? Oh, the MAGA people, they killed 5 cops. The actual number was 0. The only one killed was Ashley Babbitt. That was some black cop that was incompetent, shot her in the neck. that was it. That was it. But they've tried to insurrection, but now we're seeing more and more in that. But anyway, YouTube suspended Trump because they never thought he was going to get in power again. Oops. And now I guess he sued him, and they agreed to pay him $24.5 million. Not bad, because I guess he lost a lot of super chat revenue or monetize his videos. I don't know why they came up with that much. That's kind of chump change for Google, though, really, and even Trump. But, it's good. It's too bad that other people can't do this to these high-tech firms. And you can if you have money. It's just a difficult process. So Google probably decided to make him go away. His lawyers and Google's lawyers, they said, okay, if we give you $24.5 million, will you just forget this? And he basically said, yeah, that sounds good. I'll forget that. So It was good. It's a little pushback, at least from the censorship, and it's good to see that. All right, let's see what else. What else is going on here today? And all right, I guess Netanyahu's in town, and his minions like Ted Cruz and Lindsey Graham. I mean, they're like totally controlled by Israel, right? We're not supposed to say that because it's anti-Semitic. Well, it's true though. It's true. What can you say? But what they're worrying about and kvetching about is younger people. They don't really give a damn, either left or right, about Israel anymore. And this is from the ages 18 to 29. Provide more economic military support to Israel. How can we provide more? We already give them more than anything else. But no, that's not enough. Always more and more. Only 23% support, 68% oppose. And the left and the right oppose funding Israel for different reasons. The left opposes Israel because Israel's slaughtering those brown people, the Palestinians, and they're upset about that. So you got to understand the left. They don't see Jews as like separate from whites. They see them as whites. Remember Whoopi Goldberg? She got in trouble on The View. She had to apologize to the rabbis or whatever because she said, why do I care about the Holocaust? It's just white on white crime, right? Which kind of makes sense, right? Because if Jews are white, and if the Jews in Germany were really Germans, because that's a trope to say they're not really Germans, then it was just Germans killing other Germans. So really what she said made some sense. But it's like, oh, no, you can't do that. We're not white. How can you say that? But sometimes we are. It just depends. So she brought that up. So the left, but the point is they consider most Jewish people to be white. They see them slaughtering the Palestinians, and they have troubles with it. I mean, yeah, there's been some civilian casualties in the war in Ukraine with Russia, but nothing like we've seen in Gaza. I mean, those guys, they're just leveling everything. I mean, they're just killing people, ask questions later, ethnic cleansing, genocide. And it's not me saying genocide. This is the United Nations. They went over there. I don't know how you say anything else, but you get people like Ted Cruz and Lindsey Graham. And they're like, oh, but Jesus says we have to support Israel, even though I did a whole video about this. This is a rejection of Christianity. Oh, but the Schofield Bible, who was funded by interesting people, says God blesses Israel. Those who bless Israel, God will bless. And it says, yeah, Galatians and Peter says the chosen people are now Christians, but forget that. So no matter what Israel does, because they're Jews, they're going to support it. And I mean that literally, like Tom Cotton, my senator, Israel could eliminate everyone in Arkansas. They could rain nuclear bombs on Arkansas, and Tom Cotton would be, I stand with Israel. I stand with Israel as you massacre our people. And I'm not joking. That's not hyperbole. He literally would do this. These people are totally sold out. They're controlled by a foreign power. Treason. Arrest Lindsey Graham. Arrest Tom Cruise. Arrest Tom Cotton. And that'd be fine with me. So, but they're going to go on their way. So that's it. So, but the left, they consider it white people killing poor brown people. So that's why they hate Israel. And the right is just it's really changed a lot because America First has become a lot more popular. And because people are like, well, wait a minute, why should we support Israel before America? Like, wait a minute, Israel's a rich country. Why do they get the most of our foreign aid? What's up with that? Well, they're our best little buddy. And it's like, how? What do they do for us except suck us in wars, right? Because when Israel ever gets in trouble, they're like, oh, America, we need you to bless us. And that usually involves like bombing Iran or some other bullshit for them, or Iraq or whatever. And so a lot of the young people, they're not necessarily anti-Israel. They're just like, I don't see why we should put Israel first. This doesn't make a lot of sense. And even some people like Tucker Carlson started wondering about this. And then you have Mark Levine, Jew hater, and Megyn Kelly. She's like, rah, rah, Israel, rah, rah, Israel. But she's kind of like, well, but I don't know if we really need to get in a war with Iran. And the response was, oh, you vicious Jew hater. So it's like, no matter what you do, if you oppose any of their policies, you're a Jew hater, you're an anti-Semite. Oh, why must we suffer so? That's what you get. So the right, especially young people, they're tired with it. Hey, I'm tired with it. I'm not young, but I am tired of it. And again, I don't really care about Israel if they want to exist. Hey, it's a good model, right? It's a model we can use. They're ethno-nationalists. Hey, we could use their model. But the problem is groups like the ADL are like, yeah, we want ethno-nationalism for our people. Oh, we don't want icky people. This is for the Jewish people, not others. But if we try that model, it's like, oh, you Nazi. Oh, you Nazi. How can you be such an evil Nazi? It's just crazy. And even the most stupid people are like, well, wait a minute. Why do you get a homeland, but we don't, right? So you demand that you get an ethno state and you get your borders. But whenever you're like genocide people are trying to kick them out, they're like, well, you can take them. You take them. We don't want them. And we're like, well, we don't want them either. Oh, you're so racist. Islamophobe, racist, Nazi, all that type of stuff. So I think people are really getting tired of that bullshit. And I'm not really surprised on the collapse. So Netanyahu's here trying to somehow save the day. And there's this one guy, I had no idea. I don't know if you saw this guy before. Where did this guy come from? He just popped up after Charlie Kirk died. I thought it was an ad for, I don't know, some twink type of thing. It's so, LGBTQ month or something. And here he is.
What's up, America? Brilyn Hollyhand here, about 30,000.
What's his name?
What's up, America? Brilyn Hollyhand here.
Brilyn? Is that a real name? Brilyn? That sounds like a black name. Letitia. Demarcius. What the hell? Brilyn? Hollyhand. Okay, so let's listen to what this chat has to say.
We're about 30,000 feet up. We are on the way to Arkansas. So everybody in line at
oh no, he's coming to Arkansas, my state.
University of Arkansas to kick off my 10-stop campus tour. We are coming to you right here, right now.
Oh, that's not far from where I live. That's Fayetteville.
Stay in line. We have gotten a third room because we have sold out this campus stop 3 times. But we are coming to you. We will fit you in. Students will get priority, but we will make it happen. I cannot be more excited. We are back. We are on the road. We're coming to you one conversation at a time. If you're not at the University of Arkansas, we're coming to a campus near you soon. So check out my tour dates. We'll see you super soon.
All right. So this guy's flying around in a private jet, right? And I'm like, who the hell is this guy? And he's got a Rolex watch worth $10,000. He's got a private jet worth $10 million. And it's like, where did this guy come from? I had no idea. I usually see these people come up. I remember when Nick Fuentes came up. It was organic. And he was on my show, Happy Homelands, it's all this type of stuff. And then all of a sudden, this guy comes out of nowhere. I'm like, where did this guy come from? I never heard of this guy. I don't know if you guys had. But I guess he's some grifter that like Ben Shapiro and that group is promoting. I mean, poor Charlie Kirk's body wasn't even cold yet. And they were pushing this guy, Brilyn Hollyhand. Hollyhand has been outed for lying about being sponsored by TPUSA. Uh-oh, that sounds like bearing false witness to me. That sounds like one of the 10 commandments. He's going around claiming his new tour is a partnership with TPUSA when that's an outright lie. Tyler Bauer from TPUSA confirms Brilyn does not work from TPUSA and his tour is not sponsored by TPUSA, calling the lie distasteful. So this guy has nothing to do with TPUSA. He's just trying to grift off the death of Charlie Kirk. And it's strange, all this stuff. I think let me just show you this. I think he's even using their logo and stuff. I don't know why they don't sue him. But Turning Point USA is absolutely not sponsoring campus tours for young men flying around on private jets. So this young guy, Mr. Hollyhand, I don't know. I don't know if he's like on where did he come from? I assume maybe some twink on OnlyFans. I don't know. I don't know this, but he just has all this money now to fly around in private jets. Must be nice. I fly in coach when I fly. This is unnecessary distraction from the actual campus tour. So there's already fightings. And so there's two things. There's Turning Point. Then there's this guy going around pretending to be somehow with turning points. And it's pretty strange. And then it's like, well, where did he get his money? Where did Mr. Hollyhand get his money? Well, let's take a look at here. Brilyn Hollyhand. He got 694,000 from the APAC. All right. So no more to see there. No more to see there. So yeah, Hollyhand is I guess Ben Shapiro. I don't watch Ben, but I guess they're saying, we got to get someone in to fill the void of Charlie Kirk. And Charlie Kirk was starting to veer off the reservation when it came to God's chosen people. This guy won't, though. Hollyhand, he's on board. So if you want to hear about how you got to be a base conservative by giving more money to Israel, then Hollyhand is your guy. I'm sure that's going to excite the youth. That is going to excite the youth. So Hollyhand is our guy right now. So that's it. Hey, I already got a super chat. Thank you very much. And let's see here. It's good to see this. Chauncey Hart. Why is Nick smearing Erica Kirk? Why did he campaign against Trump despite loving him in term one? Just a perpetual contrarian who has alienated everyone. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of theories. Why has he done that? And if you guys don't know, in the campaign, his gripers and him, they said they were going to send a griper army to Michigan and have the Muslims vote against Trump, not for Trump, right? And then to throw the election. So Nick thought he'd be a power broker. That failed, epic fail. And then I guess right when Trump won, Nick tried to claim it was like 4D chess or something. I don't know. Nick, again, I thought after the Charlie Kirk shooting, I'm like, wow, Nick is saying some really reasonable stuff. Like it's not some Israeli plot or something like that. I mean, it's not like I'm a huge rah-rah fan of Israel, but Israel could get rid of Charlie Kirk easier than paying or trying to influence some autistic guy that was having sex with some dude that was pretending to be a woman and pretending to be some sort of animal, some furry. I mean, why would you need some autistic guy like that, right? I mean, there's a lot of ways you can get rid of someone. Yeah, Charlie Kirk was being threatened some ways by the lobby, but not with death. They were just going to cut off his funds. But Charlie Kirk was like, I don't really care. I'm going to speak the truth. And oh no. Yeah, so, but I don't think they'd try to kill him. And Nick agreed with me. Nick said that. And I'm like, wow, Nick is being reasonable. But then he came up with this idea. No, really what's suspicious is how in the heck did Erica Kirk meet Charlie Kirk? This seems like it was an arranged marriage. I'm like, well, it wasn't arranged. They've told the story. She tried to work for TPUSA. He interviewed her. They had a great conversation. He said, hey, I can't hire you as an employee because I want to date you. I find you enchanting. And she was like Miss Arizona, pretty girl. I don't understand why that's hard to believe, but I guess the theory is she was a plant because they had ESP. They knew Charlie in the future would turn on them. And then they have her. So there's like, okay, babe, you may not really like him, pretend to like him, seduce him, and have a couple of his kids. Then we'll take him out in 2025. And then, you can gain power. I just find that a little unlikely. That scenario does not make a lot of sense. And a lot of people, again, in that video, I'm not going to do the whole video, but she's not showing grief properly. And again, if you ever lost one, people show grief in different times. It's not a 24/7 thing. So I think that's all kind of silly. Now, just to be fair, do I think Erica Kirk is going to replace Charlie? No, I don't think so. I don't think she has his abilities or anything like that. But who knows? Maybe she'll get people help put it on the right direction. I think TPUSA is going to come under. Who's going to really control it? Is it going to be kind of the Ted Cruz, Lindsey Graham, mainstream Republican, where like, hey, our first priority is keeping everyone on the Israel reservation? or is it going to go the more Charlie Kirk way or America First way? And again, Charlie Kirk started, he was on the Israel plantation, but he started to veer from it. I don't know, maybe because of me, a little part. He followed me on X, but he started to sound a lot more like me and other people in our sphere. And so I think they're going to have a big battle there because there's a lot of people are starting to whole question the whole Israeli thing. Why do they control our government? Tucker brought that up. Megyn Kelly's even getting off the reservation now. And so I think there's going to be a battle for which element takes over TPUSA. But I'll tell you, if it's Israel First element, they're going to die out. Young people just aren't interested in that message. They're interested in staying out of foreign wars, kicking out the illegals and legals, get rid of the people that aren't compatible with this country. They need to leave. Healthcare issues, get rid of H-1B visas so people can get jobs. That's been extremely abused where, all these Indians come in and take the jobs by claiming, we can't find any Americans to work. Meanwhile, these bastards are laying off Americans and hiring H-1B visas. That's not what the H-1B was supposed to be done. These are the issues that really resonate with the youth. Like, I want to be able to get enough money to buy a home and a family, afford healthcare and everything. And healthcare is a fucking joke. I've already spent, I have insurance too. I've already spent on my eyes like $5,000. And just today I got another random bill for $2,200. I'm like, what the fuck's this? So I got to call them. I think it's a mistake, but who knows? Who knows? When you deal with the American medical system, you just get random bills. You just have no idea if the insurance is going to cover it or not. Beforehand, you get the idea, okay, it's going to cost this much. But then afterwards, that's all out the window. So that's what the American youth, I think, is really passionate about. Not, we got to fight for Israel. We got to eliminate the First Amendment so we don't upset Jewish people and all that kind of stuff. I think people are tired of it. And people are starting tired of, they're seeing the people that are behind pushing all this transgenderism, that are pushing this degeneracy. All I'm saying, it's not the Irish, okay? It's just not the Irish. And so they're deciding, okay, well, we got to get control of TPUSA. There's that element, the Israel First element. But if they get control of it, they're not going to make any inroads with the young people. Then you have this other guy that's taken over $700,000 from the AIPAC, Brilyn, Hollyhand, and he's going to try to give his pro-Israel message. People aren't buying that anymore. They don't want that. So I don't know. I think that's I hope that's a good thing. I hope they take I just don't see us going back there anymore. It just seems like a dead end to me, but we will see this. Let's see here. Anything else with that? That was kind of the breaking news. So and again, I never really saw that guy until recently, but until then. All right. Let's see here. We'll go through the I wanted to show you one other thing before we really start the show. I haven't even got over my main news items yet. But this is NBC's Law and Order. SVU portrays ICE agents as villains allowing rape. So it shows ICE as being these evil rapists, and NBC's promoting this. And there's an attack, terrorist, an Antifa type attack on ICE in Dallas. Of course, the guy was stupid and he ended up killing some Mexicans. No ICE agent. But there's all this ICE hatred. There's an app that Google doesn't ban, or Apple, where you could track ICE agents so you can murder them. They're fine with that. And then you have NBC showing this inversion or reality. And all right, I just want to know who the hell is promoting this. Who are the writers? Who are the producers? Let's take a look at that. Of course, that may cause some other issues like, oh no, you can't look at that. Oh no, that's not who we are. But I think we need to look at who's pushing this crap. But that is what is happening there. All right. I'll give my, let's go over the Civil War update. We're kind of, I think, in the middle of a Civil War. So let's take a look at what's going on there. And let's take a look here at this clip.
into the majority a year. Well, first, we are making it clear that we're going into the majority a year from now. We have every intention to do that. And so,
well, they have the intention, but I don't know if they're going to be the majority. The Democrats really have a lot of problems. I mean, the Republicans are screwed up, but Democrats are not popular.
We will bring oversight, accountability. We will subpoena the Department of Justice, but also private actors who have done these drug deals with the administration, college campuses, entertainment companies, law firms. And so accountability is coming. And so one, it's all coming out. Two, I hope that deters people from doing more of these deals, these one-offs with the president. One other point, though, on Comey, Kate, this happened.
So what he's doing, he's threatening Americans. You better not work with the Republicans because we're going to come after you if you do that. Again, that is in the old America, that's kind of shocking, but we're really divided now. And we have to go after them now. So anyone that does business with the Democrats, we got to boycott, we got to bankrupt. And because they're going to, if they get empowered, they definitely are coming after us. The days of us being united are over. And speaking of one evil group that needs to be dismantled is the ADL. And Elon Musk has declared the ADL as a hate group. And of course, the ADL has compared Christianity to a virus and claims it was the root of anti-Semitism. He pointed to the historic accusation that the Jews killed Christ. Well, that's not an accusation. That the New Testament teaches that the Pharisees who were Jewish, they killed Christ, who was Jewish too. But yeah, that is true. Greenblatt concluded that being critical of Zionism automatically makes someone an anti-Semite. Yeah, fuck you. And these groups, they need to be dismantled. We got to use RICO. He needs to get deported. He'd probably be happier in Israel, obviously, than America. He doesn't have the accountability of an American. He doesn't have our values. He just wants to censor people, and anyone that they don't like, they try to censor, deplatform, terrorize. And even after Charlie Kirk was assassinated, the ADL still lists Turning Point USA as a hate group. So this is, I mean, who isn't a hate group at this time? Charlie Kirk was a very mild person, very kind person, wasn't radical at all, wasn't against Israel, just didn't believe we should place Israel first. Loved all races, but because he wasn't 100% dedicated to whatever Israel wants, the ADL declared him and Turning Point USA to be a hate group. And the ADL, they have, unfortunately, a lot of problems with this group because of their tie-ins, what they have. And let me just show you right here. One of the things that the ADL, they were partners with like Twitter and I think still with the Google. So they helped decide who they could censor, what videos they can burn, shut down. And they also worked with, the ADL was bragging years ago that that ADL trains every new FBI agent on the role as a protector of the American people and the Constitution. And their idea of the Constitution is no First Amendment rights if you criticize their ethnic group. So ADL, they are a left-wing anti-Christian group. They hate white people and they are political. So every FBI agent was given a commissar, kind of like a communist commissar, to help with the political indoctrination. If this is going on now, I hope they get rid of it. It needs to be dismantled. That and the SPLC, they need to be considered hate groups. I'm not I don't like that terminology, but I don't give a shit. We're in a war now. We have to dismantle these groups. We just can't have two different standards that they can do whatever they want. And, there's a heavy price for coming against these people like the ADL. And Marjorie Taylor Greene, I am not suicidal and one of the happiest, healthiest people you would meet. I have full faith in God and Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. As a sinner, I'm only saved through his grace and mercy. With that said, if something happens to me, I ask you all to find out which foreign group, government, or powerful people would take heinous actions to stop the information from coming out, not only because of this issue, but because of the truth I have been speaking. The people understand what I am saying. So Ted Cruz responded like, "Oh, you're such a Jew hater." She never even mentioned Jews, but Ted Cruz assumed that had to be Jews that she was talking about. What? They're trying to intimidate you, threatening your life. Oh, well, that has to be Jews. Well, you're a Jew hater. So yeah, that caused Ted Cruz to have a meltdown because he's on their payroll. So that is where we are right there. All right. A couple other things. I'm not going to go over the whole thread, but I just wanted to bring this up because you will always hear, oh, it's actually the right wing creates more terrorism than the left wing, right? You've heard all that bullshit. Well, this guy went through case after case after case on X about groups, what they do. They just don't account certain crimes that are done, that when someone does something, they count either as a right wing. For example, Robert Long, he's a guy that started the whole Stop Asian Hate because he killed 8 targeting massage parlors. And even the FBI at the time said it had nothing to do with him hating Asians. In fact, he killed 2 white girls. He was angry at prostitutes, and he actually liked Asian prostitutes. So he went to Asian massage parlors, but had nothing to do with ethnicity or race. But these little bastards at the ADL and SPLC, they call this right-wing terrorism against, racial terrorism. And over and over and over. And anytime there's a shooting, they call it right wing, no matter what it is. And if it's on the left wing, they just ignore it and just say, oh, it's mental illness or whatever. So whenever you hear that stat, no, they're a bunch of bullshits and they're liars. And that is what they're doing. So I hope that gets out quite a bit, but that is definitely what's happening there. And thank you guys. And if you want super chats, I appreciate those, or Rumbles, Rants, and Powerchats. Got the thing below. All right, let's see what we got here. This is take a look at Portland here. Nope, hang on. I got the wrong link. Let's see here. Here's the Portland link. Let's do this here. Man, Portland, years ago I was there and it was kind of nice. I know it was kind of shit libby. Man, it's like, what the hell's happened to it? And here we go. Let's take a look at, oh no, this guy's from Portland. He's actually praising that. Then we're going to see Portland. This is the one Trump supporter in Portland. I'm surprised he's not being attacked, but here we go.
I am so happy that Trump is sending the National Guard in here. I live in this building. We both live in this building. We've been asking for help for months, and we're finally going to get it.
When do you think they're coming?
When? Not soon enough, man. Not soon enough.
What do you want to see happen?
I want them to come in and mess them up and just annihilate these people. Whatever force they need. Gals like her and the other people that live in the building, they're the ones that I'm concerned about. So they're afraid to come out of the building. So I've been coming out every night, every day to help them, to make sure that they're okay. She won't even leave the building with them.
Are you afraid of the protesters?
Very. It's an extreme mob mentality to me, which means nothing is as it should be.
So are you excited that Trump's deploying the troops here?
Very excited. I cannot wait.
I can't wait for them to leave.
Forever and ever. Amen.
And if they don't leave, I'm going to bring in the gypsy jokers.
So at least some people are excited in Portland that these terrorists are going to be dealt with. Hopefully that will be the case here. And so that guy's been asking for that for months. And the Antifa, they're really quite organized and will take you, because they always say, oh, it's just an idea. It's not an organization. And they say that as their little trick so they can't be prosecuted under RICO. But here we go. If you see people in these green hats at far left riots, know that they are not independent legal observers, but rather members of an Antifa legal group called the National Lawyers Guild. This group helps Antifa and far left terrorists escape prosecution. So they have this group. Again, these lawyers should be disbarred. They are helping domestic terrorists, not by legal representation. They're actually on the scene helping these people commit terrorist acts. They should be arrested and disbarred. It is like crazy what is happening there. And if you want to take a look at Portland just in all of its glory, got a 199. I'm ambivalent on Israel, but resent ADL and AIPAC. Yeah, I'm not really anti-Israel myself. I mean, in many ways, it's a good model. It shows, hey, they have an ethno state. Maybe we can do something similar. So I don't really mind them that way, but I resent that we have to pay for them. That's what pisses me off. And we shouldn't get into wars for them. We should treat them like any other country. All right, here's an example of Portland. What a freak show. Hey guys, you go to Portland, there's some fetching young women you can meet. So all you incels, there you go. Look at that fetching young woman. Yeah, I mean, it's like a total failed society. That's enough to look at like, so that's Portland. Just a disaster. Just a disaster there. All right. Let's see here. All right. Some more of the Civil War stuff about how things are breaking apart in the government. And hey, here's one. Necrodancer. What did that bald man in the video mean when he said, bring in the gypsy jokers? I don't know. He said that at the very end, the gypsy jokers. I don't know what the gypsy jokers meant. So I think he was really tired of that. Maybe I thought of the Batman and the Joker just to take care of the situation. That's the prime function of government, is to deal with crime. So hopefully they bring someone in. All right, let's just take a look here at some of the treason we've been seeing here. Is Tulsi has uncovered documents that were hidden for 10 years showing Obama doctored the intel to make it look like Putin and Trump stole the 2016 election. This is treason.
Fox News alert: the director of national intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, releasing a bombshell report today that shows a conspiracy by a sitting president, Barack Obama, and his intel agencies to sabotage the president-elect, Donald Trump, brainwash the electorate, and undermine the legitimacy of an election.
There is irrefutable evidence that detail how President Obama and his national security team directed the creation of an intelligence community assessment that they knew was false. They knew it would promote this contrived narrative that Russia interfered in the 2016 election to help President Trump win, selling it to the American people as though it were true. It wasn't.
And the Russia thing is funny how they're using this even in Europe now. In Romania, they had an election. The candidate that wasn't pro-EU won. So they just canceled the election. They did a do-over. In Germany, I think the AfD, they're trying to ban that political party. The same with Le Pen in France. Moldova just had an election, and they were doing all sorts of tactics to barely get their pro-EU woman girl boss in, even though she's despised. And again, they threatened if she would have lost, they would have just canceled that election because everyone else is under control of the Russians. So this is started in 2016. It was a lie, and Barack Obama knew it was a lie, but he conspired with the FBI to plant this false information, what came to be known as the Russian hoax. And again, this is shocking behavior. This isn't the peaceful transition of power. This is trying to do a coup on the democratically elected president.
Gabbard got her hands on a House intel report that's been locked away in a CIA vault for almost a decade. Investigators spent over 1,000 hours looking into how the Russia hoax was born, interviewing 20 CIA and FBI officials. And it turns out that the Obama administration doctored the intelligence to make it look like Putin and Trump stole the election. A month after Trump beat Hillary, Barack Obama wasn't satisfied with his intelligence reporting and ordered his CIA director to create a new assessment of how Russia interfered with the election. This was
So what they tried to do when they first started this, the whole Russia thing, if you guys remember, started in a debate Trump had with Hillary, and the whole issue was Hillary's emails were leaked to WikiLeaks, and there was like, well, who leaked them? And there was Hillary came up with this idea. Well, it was Russia. It was Russia who went in our server and gave this to WikiLeaks. And there was no evidence that was the case. But that was, and Trump at the time, he had a quip. He goes, well, if Russia has your emails, let them release them then. He didn't say he had anything to do with it. So they had this idea then, the narrative was born that Russia was working with Trump to hack into the email server of the DNC, which shows, by the way, Hillary engaged in corruption in the DNC in the primary, screwed Bernie. But the media didn't focus on that. They focus on, well, how these emails get loose. Oh, they must be because of a Russian hack.
It was a highly unusual move. John Brennan handpicked 5 CIA analysts to write the assessment, and they were siloed. None of them knew what the other was doing. And only one analyst was in charge of drafting this report. There was nothing routine about this, and it was a rush job to publish before Trump was sworn in. Nothing was coordinated with the other intelligence agencies either. Basically, this was home cooking for Barack Obama. There were 4 key elements from the assessment that were repeated over and over again and formed the basis of the Russia hoax and the Robert Mueller witch hunt. 1, that Vladimir Putin wanted Donald Trump to win. 2, Putin took action to help Trump win. 3, the Russians had blackmail on Trump. That was the Steele dossier. And 4, that the Russians tried colluding with the Trump campaign. None of any of this was ever true. There was no reliable intelligence to support any of these allegations.
No, this was Seth Rich. If you guys want to know, Seth Rich, he's the one that leaked the data and gave it to WikiLeaks. Then mysteriously, in a robbery gone bad, he ended up dead, where they forgot to rob him.
Senior CIA officials repeatedly refused to traffic in these allegations, but they were repeatedly overruled by CIA Director Brennan and FBI Director Comey.
Comey needs to go to prison for this.
Who insisted that they be pushed, even without verifiable evidence. The Obama administration cherry-picked the intelligence, lied about their sources, misquoted sources, didn't corroborate their claims, suppressed intelligence that ran counter to their narratives, and even used anonymous internet postings. Rank and file CIA admitted what they were doing violated their own tradecraft standards. There was a massive pressure campaign that came right from the top. CIA analysts say they received unusual directives from political appointees.
So you get the idea here. It very corrupt, shockingly corrupt. This should be like worse than Watergate. But we're accelerating in the corruption, so it doesn't even faze them anymore that a president would commit treason like Obama did to fake evidence. They faked evidence. They were basically planting evidence. They were taking anonymous accounts on Twitter or 4chan and using that as evidence. It was so crazy. And it really sabotaged a lot of the first 4 years of Trump's administration because they had the Mueller investigation. It was horrible. And Comey, again, was a very dirty cop. And Stephen Miller. All right, let me bring this up. Sorry about that. I got stuck here. Here we go.
heinous. It truly is one of the most heinous things that has ever happened in the history of our country, what James Comey did to our democracy. I can't think of anybody in modern history who has done more to sabotage and attack our constitutional republic than James Comey, beginning with the Russia hoax in 2016, as you said, the dirty dossier. James Comey, as the head of the FBI, tried to lay a trap to remove a duly elected president from office, to imprison and incarcerate his political allies and friends, and to lead an actual coup against the laws and Constitution of the United States. What James Comey did is truly one of the most severe assaults on our freedoms and liberties that has occurred in the whole history of this nation.
Right. So Comey didn't want Trump to be president. So the FBI, under his direction, they basically planted fake evidence. And that is horrid that happened. But that's where we are now. So, that was not good. All right. Let's see here. The whole January 6th thing, by the way, we're seeing was just a massive hoax. So let's just take a look at this here. Not that piece. Because January 6th, people went there to protest because they thought the election was fraudulent, which at the time, then YouTube didn't allow you to say that. I guess you could say that now. And there's indications it was because of ballot harvesting and all sorts of irregular practices that happened. And it turns out here, Donald Trump, it was just revealed that the FBI had secretly placed, against all rules, regulations, protocols, and standards, 274 FBI agents into the crowd prior to and during the January 6th hoax. This is different from what Director Christopher Wray stated over and over. I remember they said, oh, no, we didn't have any FBI informers there. That's right. As it turns out, FBI agents were at and in the January 6th protests, probably acting as agitators and insurrectionists, but certainly not as law enforcement officials. I want to know who each and every one of these so-called agents are and what they were up to on that now historic day. Many great American patriots were made to pay a very big price. Yes, some became so despondent they committed suicide. Only for their love of country. Again, good people that just cared about their country. They didn't burn the Capitol down. They didn't trash it. They were just protesting it. And it looks like a lot of the breaking windows and storming the Capitol may have been instigated by FBI agents. I owe this investigation of the dirty cops and crooked politicians to them. So at 274 agents were actually at the scene on January 6th, and it was a setup. It was a setup. They knew there was going to be a protest there, and the FBI was doing everything they can to try to escalate it so they could blame Trump, because they wanted to discredit Trump so they could throw him in jail. That's what the Democrats were planning. They were hoping they'd get people to storm the Capitol, which happened, and I think the FBI agents led the effort. Plan B, remember the pipe bombs that they all forgot about now? Pipe bombs were placed before all this happened. They were never detonated. But, let's just forget about the pipe bombs. I think it was FBI agents that planted those pipe bombs. So, that is the situation there. All right. This is what happens, the dangers of multiculturalism and why we got to remove a lot of people that don't belong in America. They're not compatible with us, and our enemies have put them here. So let's just take a look.
5:30 in the morning. But the mosques in East Dearborn are now at times waking us up at 5:30 in the morning with the call to prayer.
Dearborn, years ago, I think used to be the headquarters of, was it Ford? Headquarters, Ford Automotive Company, and used to be a blue-collar town. And for whatever reasons, it's become almost a wholly Muslim now. In fact, the earlier question, this was the Groypers were supposedly going to be going into Dearborn to get the Muslims not to vote for Trump. but now it's like almost 100% Muslim city where they issue this loud, annoying call to prayer at 5:30 a.m. in the morning.
This is Dearborn resident Andrea Unger at last night's city council meeting stating that mosques using outdoor loudspeakers for their call to prayer should not be allowed, and says she believes it's not supposed to be allowed per city ordinance.
The noise complaints have been made out and the police have made numerous visits. What is the next step?
There was some question whether or not any outdoor loudspeakers are allowed, something that was not clarified, only that more evidence is being gathered. But CBS Detroit did examine Dearborn's noise ordinance and found that loudspeakers between the hours of 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. are in violation of the ordinance.
But they'll ignore it. They don't care. So this is what happens when you bring in people that aren't compatible with the country. This country was founded by white Christians. You may not like it. Actually, Anglo-white Christians. And when you bring in people that have a different religion, they have a different genetics, they have different values, they're not going to adapt to us. They're going to bring in their own ways. And they have their homelands where they can have those ways, but they don't belong in our homeland. And but there's some white pill. The FBI is trying to clear up a little bit, and this was a white pill. So let me show you guys this. Here it is. Breaking: FBI Director Kash Patel has just fired the agents who kneeled during the George Floyd riots in 2020. So these girl bosses were kneeling. Look at that big fat one back there. They're wearing their mask, of course, kneeling to the black terrorist. Yeah, they don't belong in law enforcement. Thank God they are finally getting fired. So that is good news. Good news on that. So, I mean, there are some good news there. So that is it. Okay. The economy. This is H-1B. I know I've talked about H-1B visas, but this pisses me off. So let's take a look at this here. Amazon blamed layoffs of tens of thousands. Amazon blamed layoffs of tens of thousands on the adoption of AI tools. So Amazon said, oh, we got this AI, so we don't need all these people. And they laid off tens of thousands. Then they hired more than 10,000 foreign H-1B employees. Data shows that many companies are using the excuse of AI for layoffs. They're turning around and hiring H-1B cheaper workers. Again, this is supposed to be illegal. H-1B is supposed to be just if you can't find an American that's qualified, then you can hire an H-1B. And this dates back into it was always somewhat a myth that, oh, there's a shortage of programmers. And until we can get Americans to get more into STEM, let's get them into STEM and learn to be programmers. But until then, we're just short people. We can't hire enough people. So in that case, you can get someone from India to do the job until we can get up to speed with Americans. That was the idea. So it sounded reasonable. But these bastard companies like HP, IBM, Google, they lied. The CEOs, they should go to prison for this, by the way. But they just lied. They just hired the Indians because they do the work cheaper and they could fire the Americans. And it's not good for quality because a lot of the Indians, it's a culture of scamming and lying about credentials. And then once they get in, extreme nepotism, they don't hire white people. They just hire their own. We need to clear out the H-1B. This is what more young people care about besides Israel, by the way. No one gives a shit about Israel first policies. They care about this sort of thing. So I would like to see this taken care of. And I think it's finally getting enough down on there's getting traction. I see more and more traction about this H-1B scam, and hopefully that will continue. All right, here's Donald Trump talking about our best little friends.
You promised leaders this week that you would not allow Israel to annex the West Bank. Is that something that you
I will not allow Israel to annex the West Bank. No, I will not allow it. It's not going to happen.
Did you speak with Netanyahu about this directly?
Yeah, but I'm not going to allow it. Whether I spoke to him or not, I did. But I'm not allowing Israel to annex the West Bank. There's been enough. It's time to stop now, okay?
And Trump was like one of the biggest rah-rah cheerleaders of Israel, and he's finally had enough. Dealing with him is just frustrating. And I'm sure Levin will be calling him a Jew hater. But Trump said, no, you just can't just take over the Gaza Strip. So that's where that is now. All right. Let's see here. Let's do our homeland, the motherland, Britain. What a sad state it's become in censorship as they become weaker and weaker, and they're flooding their country with third world migrants. And the country, all these migrants aren't making Britain richer. They're becoming poorer. Their children are, a lot of them being raped and killed. But if you complain, you go to prison if you're a white person. And here's someone
to a post questioning why you wrote, because they're over here, given life of Riley, off the tax us hard-working people earn, when it could be put to better use. Come over here with no work visa, no trade to their name, and sit down and DOS. And then there's more people being put out homeless each year. They get top band priority on housing. You went on to say that you did not want your money going to immigrants who, quote, rape our kids and get priority.
They do.
End quote. Although you said that you had no intention of carrying out any act of violence, there can be no doubt that you were inciting others to do so. Otherwise, why post the comment?
So this piece of shit is saying that you're saying, hey, I don't want my tax dollars to bring in these people to have to go on welfare. And these people, these immigrants that in many cases rape our children, that happens. You remember those girls, by the way, it's illegal to post that in Britain, had to have those knives to defend herself. No, if you say this on Facebook that you don't want your tax dollars going to that, then you're inciting violence. And she was 2 years in prison. British man got 2 years in prison for writing that Facebook post. Fuck him. I would send in the troops, American troops, and liberate the isle, arrest that judge. We need to do the old-fashioned British punishment. I don't know. This is outrageous, but it's just credible what a totalitarian state Britain has become. As they're losing power, they're becoming more and more like North Korea. And we see more examples of it here. Take a look at here. UK police storm a man's home at midnight. Body shirts, arrest and detain them for posting on social media.
If you'd like to gather, obviously I'm more than willing to talk through what you're able to take with you.
What, you're taking me away now?
Yes, yeah. So you're under arrest, so you're going to Harrogate, unfortunately.
You're taking me to Harrogate in the middle of the night over a tweet?
I am, unfortunately.
Is this what you signed up the police to do?
This is my role. I'm trying to be reasonable with you here.
So
if there's stuff you'd like to gather, I'm more than willing to allow you to gather some sort of stuff like medication, if you've got any numbers you need. But at the moment,
you join the police to go and arrest people at night for tweets online.
Do you need any medication? I can't imagine that you are going to be in very long, but do you need any medication?
So this guy, they storm your house in the middle of the night because they don't like what you post on Twitter. It's a bad situation in Britain. I feel bad. I love the British people. That's my heritage. They're like my distant relatives. My ancestors are mostly British. Obviously, Ramsey's a Scottish name. I have some German on my mom's side, but my dad's side is almost all from the English Isles. So it's just really sad what has happened there. And this is what happens when a country becomes corrupt. It becomes more tyrannical, and we see that happening now. It is outrageous, but this is where we are right now. Let's see here and look at a couple things on tech. I guess they're going to have to arrest AI too, though, because the problem with AI, they've noticed, is when they allow AI to develop patterns, scientists built an AI to give ethical advice, but it turned out super racist and homophobic after studying 1.7 million real-life human examples. So the AI, it doesn't have any feelings. It just looked at various races, and it looked at the practices of homosexuals. And it says, oh, well, you got to be careful if you're around these people. Oh, no, we can't have that. So this is always going to be a problem, because if you look at the facts, it will be considered homophobic and racist, because that is a fact. Races aren't the same, and people that engage in sodomy are not the same as a man and a woman with children. But they're trying to really push that. So it is really crazy that a computer can see it, but we're not supposed to understand that at all. It's nuts. So that's where that is now. All right, let's just see here. I just want to make sure I didn't miss any super chats. And thank you guys all for your support. I really do appreciate that. And let's see. It's about an hour. I think I'll wrap up. And I should have my videos out the rest of the week. I hope you guys enjoy them. And be sure to like and subscribe and send them to your friends. So thanks a lot, guys. I really do appreciate you. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.